It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show! Hey there, everybody. This is the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing?
well, we're all having a blast here.
Yeah.
It's been an adventure already.
Yeah. And we're just started recording, so yay.
2 days in, yeah.
Oh, that's true. I mean, not our typical Sunday recording. We're doing it on Tuesday, so yay.
Sunday didn't happen.
Yeah, Sunday did not happen.
Mm-mm.
That's right. That's why we have a backup plan.
There you go. So,
I'd like to say Sunday's problem was taken care of, but I don't know.
Well, we have evidence that may not be true, but yes.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes before the show, had a different story.
Uh-huh.
I hope everybody out there is doing okay. So, I'm afraid to ask, what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to jump in here first because I don't want to have to follow Liz. I suggest the rest of you do the same thing. But I'm actually excited about something, which is not Vincent Price for a change. But no, for real though. What is probably going to be a pretty good testament as to how geeky I really can be at times. I have since it was first on the air, I have long been a Good Eats fan. And I am amazingly excited because as of a couple of weeks ago, Good Eats is back.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting new episodes. Now, those of us who don't have cable are not getting them as fast as everybody else necessarily, but I am probably going to break down and drop some cash and get access to those puppies when a few more get put in there. But yeah, and honestly, whether I should talk about this or not, if you want a sneak peek, a glimpse, they actually dropped the whole first episode on YouTube. And it was actually it's on the actual Food Network channel. So.
Okay, I was about to ask that. We're talking Good Eats, like Food Network, like
Yes.
Alton Brown?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. He's back.
Very cool. I love him.
Yep. Me too. And like I said, there's a whole brand new episode on YouTube right now.
I always thought he should be one of the hosts on The Worst Cooks because the way he breaks things down and explains things, I think he could help The Worst Cook cook a good meal at the end of this series, instead of yell and scream like the others do.
No, see, but the deal is, that's why they have the others. It's because that's the entertainment value of the show, having real chefs out there who are not afraid to yell at people who are incompetent. I don't think Alton Brown would be able to do that all that effectively. I mean, yes, he could help them become better cooks, absolutely, but...
I think he could tell them that they were stupid without actually being rude about it.
Yeah, but that's what people want to tune in to see.
That's right. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
That's not what
What
people
is
want.
the other one? Not sabotage. Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah.
He kind of, I like the shade he throws at them sometimes.
I never did
See,
watch
that-
any of that.
You haven't?
No.
That one's pretty cool because they actually get to sabotage their competitor, and you can do it out in the open instead of all like two-faced.
Yeah, but my deal with that is that I was never into the game show Food Network.
Yeah.
That never appealed to me in any way, so I just kind of glossed over it. I didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah. See, the only reason we started watching that one was because of Alton.
Yeah, that would have been the only reason I would have watched it if I did, but I was like, nah, that's still not enough.
I learned how to deep fry a turkey because of him.
I learned a lot of things about cooking from him.
Yeah. He's very interesting. That's cool. I'm glad you told me that because we switched over providers, and the worst thing is when you have to set up your DVR again. Mm-hmm. All the shows you forgot about, like Halloween Wars, which is starting pretty soon.
There you go. We'll start getting some pumpkin chunking going on too, probably, if they still do that. That was a thing for a couple of minutes there.
I'm not sure. Maybe in Ohio?
I'm glad you explained what the goodies was. I had no knowledge of this. Because what I was thinking was the old British comedy, The Goodies. That was with Peter Sellers and several others. So, thank you for setting me straight.
Yeah, no, Good Eats.
Good Eat, yeah.
That's what I kept thinking, Food Network. No, Mikey could be telling us about something on Food Network.
I'm as surprised as anybody, but I found out about it otherwise, obviously not via cable, and I don't have access. I mean, I think I can go on Amazon and buy the season for like $25. I'm probably going to break down and do that at some point in the not too distant future, and then binge all of them and then cry because it's over, and then watch them all again.
Watch them all again.
Right. That was always
first.
That was one of the things I was always got me about the show originally was that the episodes are surprisingly rewatchable. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think necessarily that a half-hour cooking show would be. I mean, a lot of them are boring as hell, honestly.
Yeah.
Not so with AB, man. He makes it interesting.
He does. He could be telling you about bologna, and you're like, wow. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. But, yeah, he's one of my favorites for sure.
Yep.
But you talk about the shows, and especially when they get into the shouting and all that. I mean, that's one of the things that really kind of turned me off Bar Rescue. I used to watch that. Mm-hmm. And the thing that I really enjoyed about the earlier episodes was the focus of him analyzing where the weaknesses are and what the strengths of the area, wherever the bar is located at, and go, okay, well, here's your market. This is what you need to be catering to, and here's the type of drinks you should be having, because you'll have this kind of a theme, and here's the food that you will offer, and that kind of thing. Yeah. And it was really interesting, because, I mean, they kind of push it, even in the intro, talking about there being a science to it. But the thing is people latched on to him yelling at the owners and the management about how incompetent they are, and then the employees about how they were screwing up and this, that, and the other, and that's what got popular because of all these other guys, and that's what they focused more on. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of turned me off. I was just like, I don't want to watch 20 minutes of an hour-long show of someone yelling at other people. I don't enjoy that. I'm sorry.
See, I love Gordon Ramsay. I will sit and listen to him bitch for hours. But, with him, I don't think it's a for the cameras kind of thing. He's a 5-star Michelin chef, and you're going to come in here and make me look like an idiot? I don't think so, So I like, he's the one who can talk the talk because he's walked the walk,
Mm-hmm.
But, Bar Rescue, the guy who does that, John, yep.
John Taffy, yeah. He's got skins on his walls too. He's no slouch. But it just.
Well, he did a tattoo show, a tattoo shop rescue kind of thing, and I have quite a few friends who do tattoos. If you guys ever need a tattoo, I could give you references. But anyways,
good to know.
Yeah, all kinds of whatever you need. But he opened a small little shop. And they came in, and he didn't contact anybody. They came in and asked him if he'd like to be a part of the show. And he's like, yeah, sure, because, they fix your shop up in the process of this. Well, they also wanted to tear his shop up in the process of this. They wanted it to look like totally bad and dirty when he came in. And, he has a new little shop that, no, it's not $1 million studio, but he's taken a lot of time and pride into putting it together. And he was kind of like, no, I can't do that. To me, that's deceiving. And what would that make me as a business owner look like, So he gracefully backed out of that. And it was kind of, wow, reality TV ain't real.
Well, shocking.
Right? I've heard similar stories to that, but I've also heard similar stories to bars, reaching out to them and doing a lot of playing things up to them so they can get a renovation out of it. Yeah. And then once they're gone, then they'll just go back to doing what the hell they were doing before and tell John Taffer to go to hell.
Nightmares. They're the same way. He comes in and he fixes everything, gives them a new menu, and I'm always one of those of what happened after the show. They give you 6 months later. No, what happened 2 years later?
Right. You want them to go back 2 years down the line and show back up at the same restaurant and take a look and see how things are going.
And some of them, they were after the 6 month recap, they just went back to their old ways, and which is a shame. Here's a guy who's a millionaire cooking food. 5 stars. They just don't hand those out, and you're going to tell him he doesn't know what he's doing?
There's people out there that way, because when I was into this, I was into this. There's a website, I think it's called After Rescue, and that's kind of what you were talking about. That's all they do is they keep track of the ones they've gone in and have done a rescue, and they'll post the news items of, okay, well, this bar is closed. It closed down, or this has happened. So they're actually doing what you're talking about that you really like to know about. I remember, and of course, I hadn't looked at this in a couple of years because I just hadn't paid attention, and I think I made it clear in the past that I just don't really watch TV anymore. But the survival rate after them doing the rescue is not good. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of cases they go back to their old ways, or it just this, that, or the other. So.
And Ramsey did a Hotel Hell, and I think that's why they actually quit. Because he's like, I'm tired of going into these places and fixing them, and then I leave, and they're right back to the same shit that got them in the hole to begin with. And that's bad on him. People come in and they're like, wow, Ramsey turns this place into a shithole. That's their name on that door from then on, Right.
That's the catch.
Mm-hmm. Well, like the Tattoo Rescue, there's a sticker they put on your door. He's like, that'll make you money. And it's like, no, not if you make me look like an asshole.
Right. Yeah, you have to make me look that bad to make me look that good? No, thanks.
Who wants to sit 8 hours straight with an asshole, other than a proctologist?
Oh, wow.
I had to.
The drugs really are kicking in now, aren't they?
But yeah. So, yeah, Alton Brown, that was really cool.
So, Les, what's been going on in your world?
I'm not sure how to follow that. I'm always stuck.
That wasn't even Liz's turn.
I know.
I should pitch. I should give money or something. Tell you the truth, I've been watching episodes on Spectrum of Mad About You. They are showing the entirety of the run of the program to get you ready for a special that they're going to run in November. After 27 years, they're going to reunite the cast to do a small mini. And I'm pretty excited about it. So I've been watching a hell of a lot of that the last few days and enjoying just about every minute of it. One thing that I've enjoyed is one of the people on one of the episodes was Carol Ann Susi, who, if you are knowledgeable in Big Bang Theory, played the missing mother of Howard Wolowitz. So it was fun to actually see her on camera.
That is pretty cool.
So it was, you get to equate these now. So and because of that, I think it's fun.
So you like the old shows coming back for a new little run?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
and
good. So you're excited about the Punky Brewster?
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll watch it.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but she's coming back, but she's going to be the mom. I mean, it's still her, but it's her as a mom, and then her dealing with her kids. So,
if I remember correctly, she appeared on an episode of The Wonder Years, much longer after her run on Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
I
remember that episode for some strange reason.
Did she also go to Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Not the new one, but the older one, or
the Melissa Joan Hart one?
You're
the middle one?
Yeah.
I'm talking about who?
Melissa Joan Hart.
No, this was her roommate.
It could have been, but we were saying you're talking about the Melissa Joan Hart run.
Yeah, the Melissa Joan Hart run, and it was her. It was like the older one after she had moved out. I think Punky was her roommate there.
Yeah.
And she's also been on Trading Spouses.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take your word for that one.
Yeah.
I only watched that one because it was Punky, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Whatever. Well, and since we're kind of talking about stuff like that, I saw that I don't watch the show, but the Goldbergs. There's going to be an episode in October that's going to feature most of the cast from Cheers.
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
And it actually comes back on TV this week or next week. Yeah.
The Goldbergs does.
Yeah, the Goldbergs.
Not Cheers.
Not Cheers.
Yeah.
Although I'm surprised they have not tried to reboot that one.
Well, maybe this is the prelude. Who knows?
I don't know.
If this goes well, maybe they'll try something.
But talking about new shows, one of my boys,
yes,
Jared.
I saw that. God damn.
Yep. He's going to be as cool as Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's doing Texas Walker Ranger.
Yeah.
Once Supernatural ends.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I felt.
I'm excited.
Are you?
Well, that makes
Did you ever watch Walker Texas Ranger?
No, but I will now.
Right, yeah, no, you should go back and catch some reruns, because, no, you will change your mind.
Little interesting trivia here. Phil used to work at a door place, and beside them was like this big empty field. And Texas Walker Ranger, they filmed there a lot. And they said that Chuck Norris, on set, there was a lot of stray dogs in the area. He would feed those dogs every chance he got. He would go and get food, and they said half the time they were looking for him, and he was off feeding stray dogs in the area and stuff. And I was like, "Aw, he's so badass, but he's so sweet." So I have respect for him, but I'll watch the show now.
But never watched the show.
Is Chuck going to be involved in the new one? He said, expecting the answer no?
I don't think so. I haven't heard, but it would be kind of weird to reboot something like that and at least not a hand in.
I could see him being an executive producer or something.
Yeah. Just to make sure they do it right,
Well,
did you tell Chuck no? I'm going to produce this. Okay.
No, that ain't what I'm laughing about. Not at all. Go for it. Good for him. If he can make a buck out of the deal, go for it.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to be watching it.
I think it'll be good.
Okay.
No.
Well, and that one of the good things about it is the Supernatural family is so big. I mean, they have their own following. They have their own cons, So I think anything that cast goes and does, they're going to do really well just because the family they have behind them.
Until it proves to suck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And honestly, I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying that it. I'm not guaranteeing a failure here. I'm just saying. I never quite understood why that show was successful.
The chemistry. They're just so.
I'm not talking about Supernatural. I'm talking about Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not picking on Supernatural here. Oh, God, no.
So, please don't make me explain Supernatural.
No. I'm not doing that.
I'll be crying.
I'm not doing that to you. That wouldn't be nice. I've never watched an episode of that either, but.
I'm dead.
That's the nastiest thing I'm going to say about it. And keep in mind, I'm a guy who doesn't watch a lot of TV, so it's not unusual.
Yeah. So I watched
Tom
them.
Jones.
Both of them were on my soap opera, and when they left, they went. I think Jared went to Gilmore Girls, and Jensen, I forgot what he did. Sorry, but when you found out that they both went over to a show together, well, I'd seen both these guys on my soap opera, so it's like, well, hell yeah, I want to see what they're doing. And then I got hooked from the first episode with the lady burning on the ceiling. I was hooked.
Lady burning on the ceiling. My first suspect would be Lionel Richie.
Oh, man. You're on a roll tonight. Shit.
What do you think, Les? Wouldn't that be your first suspect?
Nah.
All right. He's not the best color man in sports for nothing, folks.
That's right. Live all.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. We actually do sort of have a topic tonight. But anyway.
Yeah, we may get to it. We may not.
If we get to it, right.
Hell, this may be more entertaining than our topic, so.
Ouch. Ouch. Our topic is a very interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's a topic.
Well, that covered it right there.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Wow.
Be sure to tip your waitress.
Okay, forward or backward?
Yes.
Okay. Want to make sure.
That depends on how much dancing you're planning on doing on the ceiling, I guess. But
anyway. Okay. Before we get to this week's topic, I have something I need to read, and then that will be followed by an announcement, and I'm sure we will be just talking a little bit about this as well. This is a statement that was sent to us from Mark Weiss, who is the founder and president of Comic Books for Kids. And it goes like this. It was many years ago, and I, once upon a time, loved reading everything I could about comics, not just the comics themselves. The internet was not a thing yet, and many of us can imagine the concept today. It meant that all of us relied on other media. And so back in the day, an argument ensued, who was more important to a comic, the writer or the artist? And I think we've had that discussion. Or maybe not, who knows. Anyway, in typical fashion, it got ugly with name-calling and those who wanted to elevate themselves over others promoting their cause. With the advent of the internet, and while not as widespread as today, a quick jaunt to Bleeding Cool, Newsarama, CBR, or any other site can often bring up stories about someone doing something that, instead of bringing us together, well, it pushes us apart. When we started Comic Books for Kids, it was a desire to help out the kiddos and allow them to be kids again. It was also a desire to bring this industry together on behalf of those kids because, after all, didn't it start all with them in mind? We didn't go after big money, celebrity endorsements, major corporate dollars. We wanted to start this with all of us, the collectors, the readers, those of us who love this crazy art form for whatever reason, and bring them together to help out the kids. As stated, we wanted to bring comic books back to the kids, but more share our own love of comic books. More to allow those who are in hospital or cancer ward the joy of escapism that we all enjoy whenever we pick up a comic book. When we started with nothing. No comic inventory, no revenue to support the charity, no social media, no hospitals, no publishers or retailers. We literally had a hope and a dream. Though perhaps through some divine intervention, we started working with Diamond, then IDW, then Boom, and on it went. And then the hospitals, and then some retailers, and we told our story on Facebook. Now, just 2 years later, and we've shipped to over 150 hospitals in every state of the country. We have helped those hospitals with lending libraries, establish graphic novel libraries. Where English is not their primary language, we offered K-3 Spanish and bilingual books, all to help make that child stay a bit more comfortable. And 30,000 comics later, we keep going.
Wow.
We do not take any compensation for what we do. It's all about the kids. No, we can't take the reason a child is in a hospital, but while they are there, we can let them be a kid again. To all of you on this podcast, it is a pleasure to say hello and welcome you to the family. Join with us. Find us on Facebook, and together we can make a difference. So, our announcement is that we, the Fellowship of the Geeks, who over the course for a long period of time have been discussing how to give back to the community. It's something that there's been a lot of talk, a lot of this thinking and analyzing. We are joining forces with Comic Books for Kids. We want to devote our energies to help these kids in hospitals, in cancer centers, to brighten their day a little bit by reading a comic or two or five or how many they can get their hands on, and not think about the fact that they're in a hospital that they can't go out and play, they can't have a normal life, just kind of escape. So we are joining forces with them. What we are planning to do is to do collection runs. Our first major one will be Saturday, October 26th at Red Pegasus Comic Store, and that's going to be located at 319 North Bishop Avenue in Dallas. And all this information is going to be everywhere. We will post it everywhere. We will be doing a collection run. If you want to donate comics for this purpose, we would appreciate it. We'll have all the information of what we're looking for. We're primarily looking for new or look like new comics, because we are talking about taking them to hospitals. So they're going to be, they can't be 40 or 50-year-old comics that have been in the attic, that kind of thing.
No, yeah, they need to be relatively clean and in pretty good shape.
In pretty good shape. All ages up to teens. No mature titles, please. And like I said, I'll have all this information on the website, on the Facebook page, and all that.
And if you're not sure, ping one of us on social media, and we can give you some suggestions.
Well, and there's also we'll have links to Comic Book for Kids website, which the easiest way to locate that would be www.cb4k.org. That'll take you to their website. Go to the donate page. There is a frequently asked questions link there. That is primarily regarding comics. That will answer all your questions you have. But we'll be doing this drive. This is, like I said, Saturday, October 26th, from noon to 4. But my understanding is for the month of October, Red Pegasus will be accepting donations on our behalf and on, obviously, for Comic Book for Kids. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Les, 10 comics would get you 10% off your purchase. Wasn't that what Gabriel had said?
I believe that's what they were saying, yes.
That's awesome of them to do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And if you can't make it to Red Pegasus during the month of October, or if you can't make it when we were there for Halloween Comic Fest, our monthly meet and gaps, feel free to bring them at our monthly meetups. We would be happy to take them. This is by no means our last major collection. I don't know how often we'll do them, but we will do them. We'll do them as often as we can. And what we want to do is get these books into these kids' hands and just let them enjoy life a little bit. Let them read, because we're big advocates of kids reading, and just to escape for a while. Mark is so excited about us being a part of this. We're obviously ecstatic about this. I've been chomping at the bit for the last few weeks. I've been wanting to tell you that
it's been driving him nuts.
It's been driving us nuts, but part of the reason why I couldn't say some of the stuff is because we were still nailing things down in terms of this appearance, and we've got other things kind of lining up as well. But I'm so happy and proud that I'm able to say that we're doing this now, and we ask you, you don't have to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're somewhere else in the United States, go to comicbooksforkids.org. You want to donate comics, you can. You can get a tax deduction, and it's not just comics. If you can't do that, if you want to donate, do a monetary donation, because they are shipping books out to hospitals across the United States and even in Canada now. If you like to donate some money to help with the shipping costs, they would be happy to take that. And once again, that is that can be deducted, and they will help you with that. So all we ask is if you can help us, help them out, it would be greatly appreciated. And would y'all like to say something regarding this? I mean, I've been taking the floor, obviously, but...
Well, I mean, this has been your baby for a while, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're excited, too.
I'm really excited about this. I guess I haven't really hid how much I love kids.
What? Wait, what?
You know, kids and puppies, you know. Are we mentioning the hospital?
Yeah, you go ahead and mention the hospital, yeah.
The hospital that we've chosen to donate to is Medical City here in Dallas. And I've talked a little bit before about my son and the heart problems that he had. I don't know how much good I can say about this hospital. It wouldn't be enough. I was very young when I had my son, and when he first got sick, everybody was kind of like, well, you're young and you're not taking care of your baby, you know. And I was always kind of looked down on, single mom, you know, you have a kid, you're young. This hospital, when we finally nailed down what was wrong, I never got that from them. I never got the, you know, let me talk over your head in this big doctor language that clearly I didn't go to school to understand. But they broke everything down for me because they knew what I was dealing with and that I'm a mess, you know. But let me make sure you've got all this. You know, they just, above and beyond, the staff there, the nurses, I mean, they're wonderful people. And, you know, they almost make you forget the hell that's on the outside of the hospital, you know. So a lot of times, just giving kids comics like this, it also helps the nurses and the doctors and everything else because, for one, the kid's occupied. They're not pulling at tubes and stuff when they've got a comic book in their hand. But they actually are happy when you're happy, you know. And just to see a kid be happy in some of the most difficult times, it's truly hard to forget why you're there, of course, you know. Especially, I think they said they deal with kids with cancer, and golly, I couldn't imagine. I know when we were at the hospital with my son, he was on the heart floor, the pediatrics, but there was a kid there who was worse off. You know, my son had a rare condition, but they actually had to have a transplant, and their body was rejecting that. And it was, you know, you see the nurse rolling this video game down the hallway, and it's like, you know, this kid's practically dying, but that one thing made that kid happy. Kind of forgot for a minute that, hey, my body is rejecting everything that we've done here. So can you imagine putting Superman or Batman or Casper into the hands of a kid, just like Thomas said, just let him forget for a few minutes that life doesn't suck, you know. After the book is up to them, but like I said, I'm probably babbling because cold medicine and everything else, but it to me, I was very happy that we could do this for them. Just everything that they've been able to do for me and my son and millions of other families like us, it makes me feel good. So I'm definitely glad you chose this one and we were able to get there.
Well, actually, we're still working with Medical City. We're still trying to work that out. But we are helping out Children's Medical Center.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Medical City that we're hoping to, because they're not a part of the network yet, but I think they're working on that. But yeah, I'd be happy to help out both hospitals and whichever hospitals can be part of the network as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I was confused there for a minute.
No, that's fine.
We'll blame the cold medicine.
Yeah.
Well, we had also mentioned both. We have mentioned both hospitals, and we're still working on trying to get with Medical City because I would love to give them books as well if they're open to that. So we're working on that.
Cool.
Les, your thoughts?
I just want to say it's a fine presentation you're giving, and the personal stories I think are a good touch. I look forward to this because I enjoy the clientele down at Red Pegasus, and I know that they can step forward. I'm hoping that everybody within listening distance can do the same. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to have your assistance because this is something that we can do as a group. And that's the main thing, is to do something as a group. So I'm going to say at this time, thank you for stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to see you at any time we can.
Yep.
Yeah, a special shout out to Gabriel and Kenneth from Red Pegasus for allowing us to be there. They didn't even hesitate when we asked. They just said, sure, and let us know what you need. And so thank you guys. Thank you very much.
And then
that's
kind of topped it above and beyond with the discount on comics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're excited about this. You're going to be hearing us talk a lot about comic books for kids. I'm going to make sure you know that this is what we're doing. We're going to ask for your help, even just a couple of books or a couple of dollars, however you can, because we know how things are. We understand. Anyway, anything you can do is much appreciated. Nothing is insignificant.
Yep. Well, being Free Comic Book Day, don't we collect those too?
Well, that's the thing. You talk about that. If you go to Comic Books for Kids website, look at all the publishers, and even Diamond's on board.
Wow,
helping them out. So yeah, they've got a lot of support on that side. They just need a little help from our side. So once again, thank you, Mark, for allowing us to help you out. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do to help these kids to have a little enjoyment in their life. This could be a fun, and like I said, everything there's going to be a special page on the website regarding comic books for kids. And by the time this comes out, there will be a release on the website. There will be information on our Facebook page, our Facebook event for the appearance at Red Pegasus. We will let you know. You will. The only way you would not know is if you're not listening to the podcast or checking out the website. And then if you're not, then you wouldn't know anyway. So,
if you're not, then why not? Damn it.
So yeah, I'm excited about this. This is going to be fun, and that's just the beginning of what I hope we can do and what we can get accomplished. So that being said, in addition to our appearance at Red Pegasus at the end of October, we'll have our meet and gap Saturday, October 12th at 7 p.m. at Wing City. Of course, all this information will be on the website on the events tab. Come hang out with us if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and have some good food and have some great conversation. And if you have a few comic books you'd like to donate to the cause, by all means. If you want to donate some funds, I would advise you to just go to the website, Comic Book for Kids, and donate that way. They have a PayPal account that you can be able to donate to. I'd rather not deal with the funds. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's better. It would be easier for us
everybody,
and for them.
Yeah, it'd be easier.
Give it straight to them. Yeah.
yeah, just give it straight to them. I think that would be best for all involved. And so, but if you want to bring comic books, we will be happy to take those and get them to the kids at Children's Medical Center and hopefully Medical City too. Hopefully we can get that all worked out. That would be awesome.
It would be.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we really want to talk about this week's topic, or are we going to keep on about this? Because we can keep going on this for a while.
Oh, gosh. Either way, I mean, whatever.
Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, since y'all didn't ask me about my week.
We didn't think you'd want to talk about it, honestly.
Yeah.
I just want to tell y'all one thing. My niece, you guys have met her. She listens to our show all the time. And she does think I'm the cool aunt. But she said she got a chance to catch up on our podcast. Mm-hmm. And the interview that we did has actually been her favorite interview. And she said it was just really well done. So.
Which one?
With David.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She said it definitely made her want to go and read the book. She was like, you guys asked the right questions, and he was really good about selling his book. And, she said just listening to him really made me want to go buy it, especially when he made the comment of, if it didn't make you feel anything, I'll buy it back. She's like, that's someone who's dedicated,
Yeah.
So yay.
and thank you for saying the word interview, because you reminded me. We will have Mark Weiss from Comics for Kids. We will have him on the show for, I believe it's the November 3rd show. So he'll be on talking about Comics for Kids and his love of comics, and who knows what else we'll talk about. So that should be fun.
It will be.
Yeah, and not to get too meta with it, we'll be recording that right after our appearance at Red Pegasus, so that'll be fun too.
Yeah, we'll be able to tell him be able to do a progress report. Yeah,
absolutely.
So that would be cool.
That is cool.
It's all about the timing.
Yep.
Just wish we could do it on purpose.
Well, I mean, we already had stuff planned for October, so
no, it's
earliest chance, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know when something's going to be good, is when everything just falls into place,
Yep.
without even trying.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Okay, this week's topic. I guess we can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's actually a timely thing.
Well, now this was done on purpose because I did it kind of set us up because we're just about there to October. This will actually drop on the 29th, so it's as close as you get to October without being October.
Mm-hmm.
2019 marks the 60th anniversary of the Rutland Halloween Parade. And I'm sure there's a few of you out there in our listening audience going, huh?
The what?
Yeah.
What?
And I understand
Ruh-roh.
that. Rutland is a town in Vermont. They started doing a parade in 1959, and I'm trying to remember his name right now.
Tom Fagan?
Tom Fagan, yes, thank you. Well, I don't know if I have that right off the top of my head. Tom Fagan got involved and thought it would be really cool to start using superheroes and comic book characters to kind of make the parade a little bit more interesting after the first year. So he basically kind of took over, and it became kind of a big event. And even some of the creators from New York, he invited to come down to kind of check it out. And even during the 70s, it became a kind of a thing. They actually included the parade in comics, kind of an unofficial crossover. I mean, one of the issues I remember is the issue of Batman, and you see someone in a Spider-Man costume in there, and someone in a Thor outfit, which was funny because he had a regular hammer kind of on the sash. He doesn't have Mjolnir. He just has a regular hammer, which I thought was a cute touch. But it became kind of a thing of the parade, Tom Fagan, and apparently the famous parties that happened after the parade, kind of to thank the volunteers for all their work and all that. It became big enough that they started using them in comics for DC and Marvel, and some of their characters kind of crossed over. And it was such a cool idea. I remember encountering some of these in either reprints or maybe books I had picked up back issues for. And I just thought it was really a neat idea that this actually happened, and still happens. It still happens. I mean, it's matter of fact, the parade is going to be October 26th that evening, which would be cool. So if you're in Rutland, you go to your local comic book shop and get your Halloween comics, and then that evening you can watch the parade. That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
That would be cool.
So I kind of wanted to acknowledge this because it's kind of a neat idea. I mean, you there's always a parade for Labor Day. There's some for Christmas. Obviously, New Year's Day. I'm trying to remember whatever obviously Martin Luther King Day and maybe some of the other ones, but you just don't hear of one for like Halloween. So the fact that there's been one in this little town for 60 years is kind of cool. Because I remember during the late 70s, early 80s, Halloween was really on the downturn. It wasn't as popular as it was before and since. I mean, there was a big resurgence in the 90s, and of course, it's just probably as popular as it's ever been now.
Yeah, at this point, it's the only thing keeping Christmas stuff out of the stores, honestly. But
they're there, but they're just kind of in kind of creeping in, that kind of thing. Believe me, as someone who used to work retail, I know it's there.
I was in Walmart the other night, and they already have Christmas trees and their blow-up Christmas ornaments out.
Oh yeah, I mean
by the way, it was like 94 degrees today. Just saying,
I know. I know.
I know you guys know. For the listeners, we're in Texas. It's still summer effectively. Yes, yes. Allegedly, yesterday was the first day of fall, but you know what? We don't really have fall in Texas, so
no.
Or if we do, it's going to be about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Although, on my memories on Facebook from like 3 years ago, my post was, "What is this frozen stuff falling from the sky?" So, yeah, we've had it early before, but not this year.
It doesn't last.
No, it doesn't.
And it usually doesn't start yet.
And we don't get snow.
No, we get ice.
Yeah. I'm from Colorado. I miss the snow. I miss the cold.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't thrilled about 107, but I don't like being cold.
See, when we moved here, it was kind of like, okay, this is all right. It's flat, but we won't stay here long. We never stayed anywhere for too long, So at this point, I'm like, I'm not going to make friends. We're not going to get a dog. We're not staying here. We're not staying here. We stayed here.
Right. As soon as you gave up, then it happened.
Yeah. Like and then I told myself, when I'm old enough to move, I'll leave. Yeah.
Nope.
I was old enough to leave. I met a boy, got married, and I'm like 2 blocks away from where he grew up. We didn't leave. Yeah. But I think that's also why we don't get the whole pumpkin spice down here.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's I know, but it's kind of like, what's,
You're just upset because you can't find the pumpkin spice flavored Spam. That's all.
Ew. And I bet it's out there.
Oh, it is.
I bet it's out
Oh, it
there.
is.
It does exist. It is real.
See, I've never been a big pumpkin fan. Pumpkin seeds, but not, so I've never got the whole pumpkin spice thing anyways.
See, I don't like pumpkin either, but pumpkin spice is just a mixture of spices. I mean, it's cinnamon, it's nutmeg, it's cloves,
It's what you'd
other
make
things.
a pumpkin pie with.
It's the stuff you put in the pumpkin to make a pumpkin pie. It's really good by itself. I mean, I did a line before we got on the recording here, but no, I'm kidding. I did not snort spices. God. Everybody knows you inject that stuff directly. But anyway.
I just had a flash of that girl from Cheech and Chong when she sniffed the haystacks. That would be the pumpkin spice.
Mm-hmm. It's the new thing. But anyway, parades, yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I think it would be really cool to go see this parade if it wasn't in like Vermont. I mean, not because it's in Vermont, but because Vermont is so damn far away.
Yeah.
If I ever got up there this time of year for any other reason, I would be absolutely certain to stop in there and check it out.
Yeah,
and I bet it's gorgeous since they have seasons and all. The leaves and everything.
What the parade would be gorgeous?
No, just the scenery in Vermont.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
The parade would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be in a backdrop of fall in New England. For sure. Bring a sweater. You don't have to bring one to our appearance, but.
It would be cool, but it definitely won't be sweater weather. Well, maybe not.
Depends on if their AC's working that day.
Oh, we'll be outside. We'll be outside with the tent, underneath the tent. So
I
yeah.
hope it's cool then. Jeez.
Well, I mean, we're talking late October, so.
Right. So.
Odds are it should be all right.
Yeah.
So, Les, do you remember reading any of these stories that featured the parade or the after party?
Not really. I saw the listings of where the parade appeared in comics, but I was kind of out of comics at that time. So I've got to throw up my hands and say, yeah, can't help you. But I think it's a fascinating idea. I think it'd be great to kind of spread that throughout the land, just to commemorate the Halloween and the idea of a parade.
Yeah. And that is another thing. It kind of makes you wonder why. I know there might be some people that might be upset because of a thought of a Halloween, that we're celebrating Halloween in whatever negative connotations some people might think of. But it's just a opportunity to kind of just dress up and to do a parade. I think it would be fun. People like parades. People like dressing up in costumes. Why isn't this happening across land? I think that's a valid question.
Well, and right now, especially, we're in kind of a time frame where the concept of trick or treating is dying out. I mean, it seems to me like a small parade, and I mean, even if it's just a neighborhood thing, seems like a great alternative. I mean, they do what they call trunk or treats. So yeah. I mean, the idea that they're handing out candy out of the trunks of their cars, a little too close to the van down by the river to me, but obviously I'm not right. It just seems like a great excuse for a party, honestly, and a kid-friendly one at that.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the downside here, I mean, other than somebody has to organize it, how hard can that be? You just set up a place and a time to go hang out. I hate to say in a parking lot somewhere, but I mean, if you get into like a grocery store parking lot, there's a pretty good amount of room. There's probably not real busy that time of day, and there's lights for when it kind of starts getting dark, because it's getting dark a little earlier that time of year.
Right.
Why the hell not?
Really? Would it? How much more organizing and resources would it take than to do, say, a trunk or treat?
Right.
I mean,
honestly, you could start that way, and then you just line up all the kids in their costumes and start walking them around the parking lot. How hard? I mean, come on, how hard can this be?
Yeah.
Let's just turn it into a parade.
Come
on, people, wake up! Wake up and smell the pumpkin spice.
And if you're talking about lighting and all that, I mean, if it's in the afternoon, if it's like, a perfect thing would be in the morning there's a Halloween parade, and then after that's done, you go to like a local comic shop and pick up your Halloween Comic Fest books. And then that night, you're probably going to a Halloween party, whether it's adult-oriented or a kid-oriented. I mean, that sounds like a fun-filled day. You're going to need the next day to just crash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired just thinking about that.
It was amazing that someone can take their fandom and turn it into something for 60 years, Do you think he realized that it would last as long as it did? But yeah, 60 years, I mean, no sign of stopping, right?
Right. He's been gone for a while, too. So they're carrying on the tradition.
Yeah, they said he died days of the last one that he was alive for.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he wasn't alive for it. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's, going back to what Mike was talking about, yeah, I would definitely love to see the idea kind of spread out, but, after all these years, I'm surprised it hadn't been done. Or if it has, it just hasn't made, it had been
quite gotten this far yet.
Yeah. They're caught on.
Yep. If you happen to be up that way, go check it out. Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely take pictures and maybe tag us on Facebook or Twitter so we can see them. That would be awesome.
Right.
That would be.
We'll share them around too.
Yep, definitely. All right. On that note, we're going to take a quick break and come back with our weekly picks. And we're back. It is time for our weekly picks, and leading off this week is Les.
Thank you, sir. Stepping up here as my number one choice is Deadeye's #1 from Image Comics. Jerry Duggan is the writer. John McCrae is the illustrator. And what we were talking just a few seconds ago was this being the reestablishment of a series that these two creators did called Dead Rabbit. Looking at the synopsis, it follows the original program where a stick-up man back in the 90s was in Boston, and he took a big score but disappeared. He retired with the love of his life, but now he's back in the mask to save her. This was a good 2-issue series, and in this they will contain the previously published material and then expand from that. Dead Rabbit was a fun read. It was very tight, but unfortunately it ended very quickly. This will allow it to expand since it is now considered an ongoing series. This is for mature audiences, so don't let little Buster try this one.
It's not the title for comics for kids.
Yep.
No, but it's. I still expect it to be a really cool one.
Yeah,
definitely.
That one did sound good.
Alrighty, Liz.
All right, for my first pick, I'm kicking off October with Ghosts. This is one of DC's 100-page giant issues. It'll give us 3 new supernatural stories. One of them containing will be John Constantine. And then they'll reprint 6 other stories. These are all one-shots. So if you're looking for something spooky, I really suggest this one. Like I said, 9 stories for $5. Can't beat that.
Sounds pretty cool.
It does.
I like spooky.
Really? You like spooky, Mike?
I know, shocking, isn't it?
All right, you're next.
I'm next. Well, I'm going to keep the Halloween ball rolling here. From Dynamite, I'm looking at the Betty Page Halloween special. We are pretty much all big fans of the Betty Page comics around here. And this one's going to give us a couple of new stories with maybe, kind of a weird fiction or weird horror twist to them normally, and so I think we're just going to twist a little more towards horror with this one a bit. Betty is going to be investigating reports of some sort of monster in upstate New York. Could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I got to admit, yes.
Yep, should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I am next, and I'm keeping the Halloween horror vibe going with a collection from Marvel Comics called Man-Wolf. And these are all the stories that involve John Jameson, who's the son of J. Jonah Jameson, who became a werewolf. This includes his first appearance, which was in Spider-Man 124 and 125, and then several issues of Creatures on the Loose, Marvel Premiere, and on from there. I don't have a page count here, but this would be really cool to have all this together for the first time, because I'm pretty sure a lot of this material has not been reprinted before. And I've always kind of liked Man-Wolf. And of course, you got Marv Wolfman and Kerry Conway as some of the listed writers, and the great Gil Kane and Ross Andrew doing art. So, some great writers, great artists, great stories. Definitely check it out. How old is she? Alrighty, Les, you're up again.
Alright. Since it's already been established, let's continue with the Halloween thought. From Ablaze comes Vampire State Building #1. This is a new series by Charlie Adlard, man from the Walking Dead series. And in it, a young soldier is on the verge of being sent away for military duty. So he meets his friends together at the top of the Empire State Building for a farewell party. But suddenly a legion of vampires attacks the skyscraper, and that's where it starts. You've got 102 floors to wage war, and it's definitely a death trap at that position. So I'm in on this. It would give me a remembrance of the 30 Days of Night, and I want to see how they cope with this one and see what, obviously, how they overcome the problem of the vampires here, there, and everywhere.
That does sound good.
It kind of does, really.
Mm-hmm.
You sell it well.
Yeah, this was on my list of picks. So, yeah, I'm excited about this one. This could be really cool. So.
Do you think it'll be an issue for every floor?
That would be a lot of issues.
That would. Job security.
This is not 24 there, Liz. Come on.
It'd be a hell of a run. Good luck to him on that. Jeez. That'd be great.
Alrighty. Well, Liz, you're next.
All right. For my second pick, it's from Aftershock Comics. And actually, this is 2 years after the first one. It's Dark Ark After the Flood. This one is written by Colin Bunn, and it kind of takes a look into if in Noah's Ark, the first ark that we saw where the flood came along and destroyed mankind, what if there was a second ark that was filled with, the first ark was filled with, elephants and giraffes and cute little fuzzy things. Well, what if the second one was filled with everything else? Well, apparently it was, and the second ark is beating the first ark to the new land. So they'll be the ones to set up the order. So should be interesting. I really liked the first one. I kind of like when people take Bible stories like this and kind of twist them, kind of give you a what if, So this one was definitely interesting. I'm excited to read the second arc to it. Like I said, it's called Dark Ark After the Flood.
The second arc, that's good.
Yep.
It's me
again. Oh,
Lord. No, I agree. I really enjoyed the first series. I'm looking forward to seeing this one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. Alrighty, Mikey.
Okay, well, gosh, we've got so much darkness in these picks so far. I need to pick another Dynamite book that'll lighten things up a little bit. This one is called Black Terror.
I feel it lightning already.
Issue number 1. And it's obviously filled with fluffy bunnies and flowers and rainbows, and oh hell no, it ain't. Not even close. This is a story about a guy named Bob, and Bob is enjoying his nice new boring life, except that there's a small problem because part of him really, really enjoyed being a superhero in his previous life, and I get the impression he was kind of more the vigilante type superhero than the red, white, and blue cape type superhero. So it's going to be. I think he might end up slipping back into his old ways a little bit, and I think it's going to be a really fun ride to see how he does that. What happens?
That is cool.
Yes, sir.
And fluffy
Should
bunnies.
Yep. And fluffy bunnies, yes.
Hooray for fluffy bunnies.
Yay.
Alrighty, I'm up next, and I have a dark book. No, I don't. This is actually cool. This is from IDW, and I love that they do these. This is John Byrne's Marvel Classics Artifact Edition. If you're familiar with Artifact Edition, these are hardcover books that they've taken the original art and scanned them in, and they reproduce them in hardcover book form in the original page size. So these are like 11 by 17, and this is including some of Byrne's work with Marvel. So it's got Marvel Team Up, Captain America, Avengers, Iron Fist, and a ton more. I enjoy getting these. I don't get a lot of these because they are on the higher price side, but it's worth it just to look at the original art. You see where the whiteouts are. You can see where they might have taped in some of the dialogue balloons and stuff like that. It's really cool to kind of check out some of this, how it looked like before it was colored, and then everything's been done to become the pages that we see when the book comes out. So I dig this kind of stuff. So I would definitely be picking this one up.
Kind of a cool behind the scenes type thing.
Exactly.
Good choice.
It is.
And comparatively fluffy bunnies compared to the rest of the picks we've made. But yeah.
Pretty much. But oh well, I got to be different. And our honorable mention this week.
The honorable mention comes from Countryman Press. Don't laugh at me. This is the book, The Necro Num 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 Num, Recipes and Rites from the Lore of H.P. Lovecraft. This is a trade paperback that steps in and talks about the Lovecraft characters, the places, and in this you get recipes such as Deep Fried Deep One, Nog Soft Off, and the Great Old Buns. This has got to be something too funny to get through. But it does say that the book comes infested with sanity-melting and mouth-watering illustrations. So that's my fluffy bunny of the week.
So it's something you can really sink your teeth into.
Good night, everyone.
Oh man! No, this right up my alley. I think it sounds pretty cool. Sounds awesome.
It kind of fits in with all the cooking talk that we started the episode with.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes around.
This is true.
Wow. All right. On that note, is there any special shout-outs or mentions this week?
No, I don't know if we could. I mean,
You're just ready to get out of here.
I don't know. I'm hungry all of a sudden. I don't know why. No, I mean, I think most of this episode has been a big shout out, and I'm looking forward to the comic books for kids thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay, we'll go on to our regular shout-outs. First off, obviously we want to thank Pop Goals the Culture Podcast Network for allowing us to be part of their family of podcasts. Definitely check out some of our brethren there. There will be a link in the show notes, obviously. We also want to thank our friends of the Potter family for retweeting our links on Twitter. Definitely go check them out. The easiest way to do that is to do a search, hashtag Potter Family, one word, and just check out what you find there. And if something catches your eye or kind of intrigues you, just download that episode and check it out. Thank you guys for your support. I obviously want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying the music to our podcast. Great group of guys. Definitely check out some of their music. We'll have a link in our show notes as well. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We do appreciate your support as always. And we would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, complaints, observations, whatever, please let us know. We would love to hear from you. Several ways you can do that. Our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, or you can go to the website and click on the About Us tab, and there's a contact form you can fill out. If you like to follow us on our social medias, by all means. I've mentioned before that we're on Facebook, the Fellowship of the Geeks. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, we are @FellowshipGeeks. And if you'd like to follow our personal accounts, by all means do so. Mike can be found @MikeyGeek. Liz can be found @LN_geek. And I can be found @TomTCGeek. And wherever you download our episodes, it would be greatly appreciated if you would rate and review our show. Thank you very, very much. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We do appreciate your support as always. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook @The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter @FellowshipGeeks. Until next time,